You know the best part? This is insane. Is that when you do that and the woman stays and the woman is still interested in you, what did you just build? You built your true fucking confidence. The girl, I put out everything, I put my cards on the table. This is who I am. And the girl is still there. The girl is still interested. Many men would love the idea of being able to approach a woman they find attractive anywhere, anytime. But the main reason they don't do it is because they're afraid of being perceived as creepy. And I get it because you don't want that awkward situation or the girl feeling uncomfortable and you feeling creepy. And that's what I want to solve in this video. I want to explain how to approach women without being creepy or being perceived as creepy. And this is something I've learned after thousands and thousands of interactions of me going out there in the street during the night as well, and in clubs and bars, but also during the day in a grocery store, in a park, in a mall, anywhere, and approaching women I found attractive. And also coaching hundreds of guys with this exact same skill set. So I'm going to give you 3 keys that you can use and start implementing right now today to start having amazing interactions with women that you find attractive without being creepy. The first key is that you want to put your cards on the table, being proactively transparent. Now, some guys, and you can even see advice about this out there in the internet, they think, okay, I need to go in a bit indirect. I need to be subtle. I need to, just strike up a conversation and then slowly tell the girl that I'm there because I find her attractive. And it might work in some cases, but in many cases, what happens is that you feel like you're trying to hide something. You feel like being somebody creepy because you have a hidden intention that you're not telling the girl and you're not conveying that because you kind of want to wait until you think she's going to be ready to hear it. And it's the same feeling when I don't know if you've ever been stopped on the street by somebody who was trying to sell something, but he didn't tell you that. So he was just striking a conversation with you. You speak with him for 1 minute, and then you see that he tries to sell you something. And personally, I don't like that at all because I thought that the intention of the conversation was one, and then I see that he's trying to sell me something. It's something a bit uncomfortable. And sometimes you can even feel it from the first moment. You can feel a bit of fakeness, a bit of this intention that you can see that they want to convince you of something. They're trying to build rapport with you for some hidden intention that they have. And this is something that many guys are conveying to women because they want something, but they're speaking and they're telling another thing. And that's why I think that putting your cards on the table is the best move that you can have, no matter your situation. So, if you're a guy who wants to go out there and meet a woman to have as a girlfriend for a long-term relationship, putting your cards on the table is the best thing, being direct. You don't have to say, I'm looking for a girlfriend, but you can give her a compliment that lets her know that you're interested in her in a romantic sense. So something as simple as, hey, I saw you, you're very attractive, I wanted to come and say hi. And something as simple as that lets the woman know exactly why you're there. You're being transparent with your intention, and she can make a decision. Then she can either speak to you for a minute, for two, and maybe there's a connection, or she can make the decision of, I'm not looking for anything right now. I don't want to speak to this guy. I don't like this guy. I'm taken. And she just keeps walking or she goes about her day. And this is something that there's much more harmony in this. When I was starting to do cold approach and approaching women, I remember that I was listening to advice from pickup artists, and they were saying you have to be a bit more indirect and, not be so direct because the girl is not ready for it. And whenever I was doing interactions, I felt like I was hiding something. I didn't feel good at all. I felt creepy. And Number two is that I was more afraid of doing approaches because internally I felt that I was doing something wrong. I felt like I was hiding something. So I didn't want to go out there and approach women because it didn't feel aligned with myself, the whole process. But then one day, because I listened to some other advice which was saying be direct, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it out. And I just went out there in Barcelona, in the center, the city where I grew up. And I started with like a simple compliment, like, hey, I find you attractive. I wanted to say hi. My name is Armen. And in that day, I had like, I don't remember exactly how many, but like two, three, four contact numbers that I exchanged. And best of all, the way that I felt, it was like I, you know, took off a weight of my shoulders and I felt much more free. And the process was super fun. Like actually going out there and okay, I'm gonna say exactly why I stopped this girl and she can decide whether she wants to speak with me or not. And that felt like something much more honest and much more binary. Like, okay, either she agrees that, okay, we can try to see if there's a connection, or if she rejects me, then, okay, she's just not interested and that's it. But if she stays, I know that at least she's curious, she's kind of interested, and she's interested in what I want, which is a potential connection. Not interested in having some random conversation, like indirect, some example that like the pickup artist or uh, whatever people giving advice in this area say is just start with something situational. Oh, you know, this, oh yeah, this building is this, that, or just asking about an opinion. Who do you think lies more, men or women? This was like a very common opener in an indirect way. Or asking for an opinion, or I'm trying to buy my sister some present. What do you think is a good idea? Like these are openers that I've used, not too much, but it was something that is very recommended out there. And again, when you do that, you might speak with more women. More women might stay and be polite with you, but you're not filtering. You don't even know if the girl is there because she likes you or because she's just being polite and she just thinks that you really want to have the opinion of a girl for a present. So again, number one, putting your cards on the table. And I'll give you a story about this, taken to a certain extreme. So I was doing a boot camp with my friend Steph, and we were in a pub in Budapest. And I remember that we just came in. We came into the pub maybe 10 minutes ago, and we see two girls. We approach together and we start speaking with them. And from the first moment, they were Italian, and you know, the intention was clear in that moment. I wasn't looking for a long term relationship in that case. I just wanted to have fun and to have a good experience. And from the first moment, the interaction was very, you know, intense in nature, very sexual in nature. After like 20 seconds, me and my girl were kissing, and Stefan, his girl as well. And we were just trying this out. I was testing, leading more in the interactions. So I said to the girls, hey, you want to come have a wine in my apartment? It's next to the center. And the girl said, oh, so you just want to have sex with us? And Steph instantly says, oh, yeah, I love sex. Why not? Do you like sex? And the girls will started laughing and they're like, yes, I guess. And it kind of broke the pattern because many guys, what would they say? They would try to, oh, no, 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 it's not just for sex. It's, oh, I don't know, just to have fun, just to have a drink, after party, this and that. And no, this guy, my friend, Steph, is just like, oh, yeah, I love sex. Why not? And the girls were shocked, but at the same time, they're like, fuck, yeah, these guys are just who they are, shameless, you know, being very transparent with what they want. And of course, there was that raw attraction that we had with each of the girls. And the girls actually said, well, okay, let's go to your apartment. Let's see. And we just took a cab and went to my apartment. and each of us had fun in his respective way, right? So this is an extreme example of just being radically honest, putting your cards on the table. Yes, that's what I wanted that night. Why not say it outright? And in this case, the girl asked. If she didn't ask, I wouldn't be like, hey, after 10 seconds, would you like to have sex in my apartment? Because it's not calibrated in that moment. But what I mean is that in that moment, she just asked that. And the best way to reply is just, oh, yeah, that can be fun. Exactly what is in your mind in that moment. And this takes me to the second point, which is being shameless. Look, shame is one of the lowest levels of consciousness. I'm not the biggest spiritual guy, but I do think there's a lot of truth to that. There's apathy, or, and then either it's like shame and then guilt and then apathy. I think that that's the way that it's the levels of consciousness described by a book. I think Power versus Force. Shame is one of the lowest levels of consciousness. When you're feeling ashamed of something, when you're feeling ashamed of being a man and wanting to have interactions with women and having relationships with women, having sex with women, when you're ashamed of all of this, you are operating from a point of feeling very small. You know, you're trying to hide something because you're ashamed of it. And I'll give you an example of, in my case and also with clients that I've worked, we had clients of all types. So clients who were quite successful, and they even had a lot of success with women as well, but they wanted to go to the next level. We had clients who just came out of a relationship and wanted to get back into the game, and that's why they joined the coaching. And then we had a third type of client, which was a client who had very little experience in dating, and some of them were virgins. And one of the things that came up again and again is, I feel ashamed of this. Maybe, a client is like 25, even 30. Even we had a client who was 40 years old and he was a virgin, didn't have sex yet. And there can be a lot of shame associated with that, because there's a very negative connotation nowadays with the idea of a man being a virgin at a certain age. And that's why, sometimes it's a block and it's a cycle that repeats again and again. You're ashamed of that. And the more time that goes by, the more ashamed you're by it, because you're older and still a virgin. So it can snowball into, you never having relationships with women that you like, or any women at all. So it's something that, you need to solve, right? And myself, even when I was starting out, the advice that we would give is, okay, you just have to go through a process, do the approaches, and go out there, and it worked, but without putting too much emphasis in it. But then what we started advising is, just be fucking shameless about it. Like, you're speaking to a woman and she asks about relationships. Oh yeah, what about your exes? You're on a date, and you can directly say, oh, I never had a girlfriend. Oh yeah, I'm actually a virgin. And if you say it like this and you feel it like this, you have zero shame attached to it. The girl, not only she doesn't give a fuck about it, but she's gonna respect you, and she's gonna feel like, okay, this guy is a virgin, but he's not ashamed of it. Like, he's not trying to hide it. He's not, he just puts it on the table, and it might turn on some women even more, because they're curious, like, what the fuck? This guy looks like such a good deal, but he's a virgin. They creates this kind of, you know, curiosity in them. And that's just one example. You can be shameless with any other thing that you have any other intention. Like, you're there to meet a girl and try to take her on a date. And there should be zero shame attached to that idea. And when there's no shame, you have like a lot of transparency. The girl can see what you want because you're telling it without any bad connotation associated to it. And that creates a more pure communication. And that creates how to approach women without being creepy or being perceived as creepy. Because the best way you can be creepy is by trying to hide something. Now do the opposite. The best way not to be creepy is not to hide anything. And then, as long as you're respectful, and by the way, just approaching a woman that you find attractive in public and trying to get her on a date is totally fine. There should be zero shame attached to that idea. You're doing something which is totally fine. It's the way that humans, if like actually procreate, advance the human race. You're just doing your vital function of trying to, reproduce and try to find a companion. Zero shame attached to it. And you go with this when you go with a shameless energy, and you're still respectful, because this doesn't mean just insulting the woman because you're shameless. No, this means that you don't have shame attached to things which should have no shame attached to it. Then there is no creepiness. There is just either she wants to speak with me or she doesn't, but no creepiness associated with it. And the third is the idea of being authentic versus this idea of fake it till you make it. So let's say you start improving your social skills and you're at a very basic level. You haven't had much experiences. Let's say even you're a virgin and you are a bit awkward in your communication. You can, not know what to say. You can have trouble having physical contact, having trouble leading. You could, one option, fake it till you make it. Put on this, confident guy persona and trying to be perceived as the super alpha guy, even though inside you're scared shitless. But you're just faking it until you get good reactions, and then those good reactions reinforce those behaviors of being confident, and then okay, you faked it till you made it, Option number one. And the problem with this option is that you're building a castle on foundations of sand. Your confidence is not built on the fact that a woman can like you, the real you in that moment, but more so you're confident in putting on a persona, a caricature of yourself. You're confident in that, but not confident in yourself. Or you can be authentic as you grow. That's the best option, authentic as you grow. So yeah, you can be a virgin when you start out, or you can, be a bit awkward or not know what to say. And instead of trying to, memorize routines and lines of movies that you've seen and from James Bond and from guys that you see on the internet, you watch Infield and you copy what they say, which is something that I did, by the way, when I was starting out. And in that case, you don't build anything true and long lasting. Instead of doing all of that, you just accept the point where you are right now. And a great example is the movie 8 Mile with Eminem. And this is a very, very famous and popular scene, which is the rap battle that he has with a guy. And what Eminem does is that he knows that this guy is going to use a lot of facts about him against him. So the fact that his dad left him, and the fact that he's white trash, and the fact that he lived in a trailer with his mom, and the fact that his mom was promiscuous or things like that, right? And what he does is that when he's rapping, he just spits all of that out himself. Like, yes, I am white trash. Yeah, I do live in a trailer. Yes, my mother is a meth addict. Just put everything about him out there. Yes, this is me. And so what? And what's next? And I think that's one of the most powerful thing you can do as a man and as a woman as well, right? You just put yourself out there as you are in that moment. It doesn't mean that you are this way forever. I don't even believe that there's like a self that, okay, this is me and I was born this way, like introverted, and I'm always going to be introverted. And no. Right now, let's say you start out like right now, I am a virgin. Right now, I don't have the best communication right now. I am awkward, and I'm still gonna try, and I'm still gonna go out there and interact with women. And there are gonna be awkward moments, yes, but it's fine. I have zero shame attached to it. And when you run out of things to say, when your mind is blank, you just say to the woman, you know what? This might sound weird, but I don't know what to say in this moment. Or um, I kind of want to have physical contact with you, but I don't know how to go about it. I don't have much experience in this area, by the way. Oh, by the way, something that's in my mind, just for you to know. You're on the first date, right? Let's say you don't have experiences. Again, I'm going with the example of virginity because it was something that was bothering me when that was the case with me, and kind of I was trying to hide it. And I've had clients with the same case, right? You just say it, by the way, something that's in my mind. You're on the first date. Something that's in my mind. Just for you to know, I haven't had any girlfriend in the past. I'm a virgin. And I know it's something that I was trying to hide in the past or feel a bit of shame about it, but I just wanted to put it out there. You just say that the way that I said it, with zero fucking shame attached to it. Like, I guarantee the reaction you're gonna have is gonna be good. Like 99% of the times, the girl's gonna be like, "Oh fuck, I respect that," and she's gonna be in a date with you. And you know the best part? This is insane. Is that when you do that, and the woman stays, and the woman is still interested in you, what did you just build? You built your true fucking confidence. The girl, I put out everything, I put my cards on the table. This is who I am. And the girl is still there. The girl is still interested. I can be loved. I can be confident. I am worthy of care and respect and love. And that's the way you build a true castle. So, how to approach women without being creepy? Those are the 3 points that I'm going to give you today. Putting your cards on the table, being proactively transparent, shamelessness, and being authentic versus faking it till you make it. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're a man who wants to improve this area of his life, his dating life, you can go to armengaribian.com. That's my website. And there you'll find all the information you need. I'll see you on our next video.